All right, time's up. Now we will start with the debate. I don't have to go over the rules because you guys have already been familiar with the rules. So we will start right away. The first opportunity will be given to the Prime Minister of the government team in the House. We would like to give the first opportunity to the Prime Minister, Ms. Nilda Roa. Could you please give your definition of the motion and also your arguments for defending it? Time is yours.
Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our honorable judges, moderator, timekeeper, and all the participants in English Debating Contest 2023, especially my partner from the opposition team. First of all, let's pray and thanks to our God for giving us merits and blessing, so we can attend and gather in this place in a good condition and happy situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, our motion today is, this House believes that project-based learning is not effective in achieving students' competence. Because we are the government said, we totally agree with this motion. Because to force our position today, I will give you the general concept of the motion. Talking about project-based learning, then we are discussing about learning model. Ladies and gentlemen, learning model. The learning model is a conceptual framework that is used as a guide in carrying out learning that is arranged systematically to achieve learning goals concerning syntax, social systems, reaction principles, and super system, according to Joyce and Well. Meanwhile, according to Arendts in Trianto says, a learning model is a planning or pattern that is used as a guide in planning learning to the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, this learning model must refer to the learning approach that will be used, including teaching objectives, stage in learning activities, learning environment, and classroom management. So, the learning model can be defined as a conceptual framework that describes a systematic procedure for organizing learning experiences to achieve certain learning goals, and serves as a guide for learning designers and teachers planning and implementing learning activities. Ladies and gentlemen, thus the learning activities is truly an activity with a purpose that is systematically arranged. The selection of the learning models adjusted to the characteristic of the subject and the characteristic of each of the basic competencies present. Not all learning models are decidable for every basic competency. Teachers need to be choose and determine learning models that are appropriate to the abilities, potential, interests, talents, and the needs of various students, so the optimal interaction occurs between teachers and students, as well as between students and students. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning or PBL. Project-based learning or PBL is a learning model that uses a project or activity as a medium. According to the Ministry of Education and Culture, 2013. Students carry out exploration, assessment, interpretation, synthesis, and information to produce various forms of learning outcomes. Project-based learning is a learning method that uses problems as the first step in gathering and interrogating new knowledge based on experience in real activities. No thanks. According to Bransford and State in Varsono and Haryanto, 1993, it is said that project-based learning is a comprehensive teaching approach involving students in cooperative. No thanks, I speak. And ongoing investigative activities. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning is designed to be used a complex problems the student need to investigate and understand. Given that each student has different learning style, project-based learning providers...
Interruption, please.
Yes, please.
This project-based learning also make the student more active and can active as a problem solvers, and from this project, students can improve the professional character. So, what do you think about that?
Okay, thank you about your question. From your question, I have answered that. According to Bransford Stein, essayed by Warsono 2012, defines project-based learning as a comprehensive teaching approach involving students in cooperative and ongoing investigative activities. Thank you. Let me continue my argument. Given that each student has different learning style, project-based learning provides an opportunity for students to explore material in a variety of ways that are meaningful to them and conduct experiment collaboratively. Project-based learning in a deep investigation of a real-world topic, it will be valuable for students' attention and effort. According to Bransford Stein, essayed by Warsono. No thanks, I'm speaking. 2012. Defines project-based learning as a comprehensive teaching approach that involves students in cooperative. No thanks. And ongoing investigative activities. According to Grant 2002. This project-based learning, yes please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know that the project-based learning is the part of the Merdeka Belajar curriculum, and we know that with this curriculum is a fact that Indonesia, about the rank education in Indonesia is increased. So what do you think about that?
Okay, thank you about your question. I will answer your question after I continue my argument. Thank you. Let me continue my argument. According to Grant 2002, this project-based learning not only examined the relationship between theoretical and practical information, but also motivates students to reflect on what students learn in learning into a real project and can improve students' scientific performance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is hoped that there are advantages or merits than weakness is project-based learning that is expected not to be an obstacle for students who carry it out, because this all depends on the role of the teacher who will help to facilitate the learning. The teacher's role in implementing project-based learning includes: the first, planning and design learning. Second, create a learning strategy. Third, imagine the interaction that will occur between the teacher and students. Look for students' uniqueness. Assess students in the transfer wide and variety of assessment. Create progress of students' work. So, ladies and gentlemen, my arguments for the motion are enough. That's all, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Prime Minister. The time span is 7 minutes and 22 seconds. And now we go to the Leader of Opposition, Ms. Arne Hule. It's your opportunity to challenge the motion. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for this beautiful change. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, the honorable judges, the moderator, the English teacher here, timekeeper, and all of the participants in this English debate competition 2023, and especially our beloved team, partnered from the government team. I am Arnie, I am the leader of opposition of this house, and our motion today, this house believes that project-based learning is not effective to achieve students' competence, and we all from the opposition team totally disagree with this motion, because based on the reality, there are many advantages of using project-based learning in the classroom. From character to educational skills, students can enjoy learning and get more from education activities. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue my argument in this time, I will give a response of the point made by the Prime Minister from the government team. The government team said that the project-based learning can impact to class can become a problem with the class management. But ladies and gentlemen, based on the reality.
Can I have something, please?
No thanks. Based on the reality, the project-based learning can be very effective. Classroom that apply project-based learning, no thanks, with fidelity with see growth in knowledge and critical thinking in each other.
Something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks for your argument. The opposition team said that they disagree with this motion. Then I have a question. How can we give chance to the student to be achieve a facing and learning process for the benefit of the end? My partner, please fetch of us.
Okay, thanks for your questions. But ladies and gentlemen, based on the compass.com, project-based learning can also provide many proven benefits to students, including this is the reason why our team totally disagree with this motion. And first, team cooperation and work. In participation, of course, in groups, students learn real-life skills such as communication and cooperation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue my argument. First of all, I will explain about project-based learning. Project-based learning is a model of direct interaction and pedagogy that encourage students to solve real-world problems. Direct interaction can make learning more effective than traditional interaction such as lecture and workbook page. So, as opposition team, of course, we all disagree with this motion where this motion says that project-based learning is not effective in achieving students' competence because according to gradeschool.org, project-based learning can help students learn how to work independently.
Can I say something, please?
No thanks, and find answer to their own questions. By also learning to complete project in no thanks in IT, students gain communication and leadership skills that they can adapt to the real world. Ladies and gentlemen,
Can I say something?
yes,
please?
please.
You say that you disagree with this motion. According to Ernst in Trianto says, a learning model is a planning or pattern that is used as a guide in explaining learning in the classroom. My question is, what do you think about that?
Okay, I think your argument that pretty close because based on the reality, the project-based learning can impact positive impact to students and students' ability. Let me continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the compass.com, project-based learning can also provide many proven benefits to students' learning. First, team cooperation and work. If participation occurs in groups, students learn real-life skills such as communication and cooperation. Second, make education fun. This is the most important. This is an interesting there where project-based learning is more liked by students because during project-based learning, many students
Can I say something,
use
please?
their knowledge to have fun while completing their projects. For the
Can I say
problem,
something,
if
please?
if the time management in class, we are sure that educators will teach
Can I
them
say something,
to use their time well and skillfully. Yes, please.
Okay, thanks for chance given to me. What is positive impact of project-based learning?
Okay, I will explain for government team about the positive impact from the project-based learning. The positive impact from the project-based learning is first, help link life outside of schools, and second, motivate students by involving in learning. 3, provide learning opportunities in various disciplines. 4, provide unique opportunities because educators build relationship with students as facilitators. 5, provide opportunities to build relationship with allergy community. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue my argument. The second, make education fun. This is an interesting where project-based learning is more liked by students because during project-based learning, many students use their knowledge to have fun while completing their projects. Notice, for the problem at time management in class, we are sure the educators will teach them to use their time. Yes, please. Time is up. Okay, let me continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, not only that, another advantage of project-based learning is that it offers deep understanding to students, and students can have good control within themselves, which can make them responsible for their learning as well. And one of the many advantages of project-based learning is to encourage students to promote creativity in their project. Ladies and gentlemen, PBL project-based learning can be very effective. Classrooms that apply project-based learning with fidelity will see growth in knowledge and critical thinking in each student. The problem of project-based learning disadvantage or deficiencies can be covered by the advantage and benefits of project-based learning, which have been proven to be real in students who have implemented it based on what was reported by government school or ARG. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, our team totally disagree with this motion, and our team totally don't believe that this project-based learning is not effective to achieve students' competence. That is all, and thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. And time spent is 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Now it's the chance for the Deputy Prime Minister, Ms. Nianu, to review the opposition side and also to reclaim, to re-establish your claim. Time is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the chance that given to me, our honorable judges, moderator, timekeeper, and especially my partner debating contest from the opposition side. Well, ladies and gentlemen, based on the first speaker said, I also totally agree with today's motion that this House believes that project-based learning is not effective in achieving students' competence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in here I have 3 arguments to be delivered. So let me give you point by point. The first point is, can be seen from classroom management side. Teachers need to act as facilitator for the project to be successful. However, it doesn't always occur, especially if teachers are new to utilize the teaching techniques. Classroom management can become a problem while students are working. If a teacher is conversating with another students to develop either or answer questions, a student who has behavior problem may take advantage of the situation. So, it will be difficult for the teachers in adjusting classroom. The teaching and learning process will be uncontrollable. The classroom is not controllable. Then how can we achieve the goal of teaching and learning process? The second point is miscontent. Ladies and gentlemen, when using problem-based learning, missing content is possible. It is probably one of the most significant issues with this type of instruction. In a traditional classroom, teachers complete a curriculum map, teaching skill in a specific order, and the material
May I say something, please?
No thanks. No matter what, with this problem-based learning,
May I say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before the government team say that they are totally agree with this motion, and before the government team say that project-based learning can become a problem when students work. But ladies and gentlemen, based on the reality, for the problem of time management in class, we are sure that educators will teach them to use their time well and skillfully. So what do you think about this?
Okay, thanks for your question. But according to Grant 2002, this project-based learning is not only examines the relationship between theoretical and practical information, but also motivates students to reflect on what students learn and learning into a real project and can improve students' specific performance. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue my argument. It may be challenging to
May I something here?
No thanks. Teaching into the schedule as students develop their projects. At the end of a course,
May
the
I
teaching...
say something here?
Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we know that with the based learning process, process-based learning is the one way for the government then the students not only learn inside the class, but also need to implement it in the real life. So what do you think about that?
Okay, I take it. Let me continue my argument.
I hope you answer my question.
Okay, but I take it. Okay, let me continue my argument. At the end of a course, the assessment be quite time consuming, primarily if a teacher doesn't go teach all the content and material. Students who complete a course using PBL often fake-based assessment because they have spent so much time completing the project that they don't engage in enough essential course content and information. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the point is. As about working in groups, no thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, if PBL a course in groups,
Interruption, please.
no thanks, a student may take advantage of the students working on finishing the activity. Group
Interruption,
work,
please.
Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before that, the government team say that they are totally agree with this motion. But, and my questions, why, what the first reason why the government team totally agree with this motion? Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. But if PBL, a course in group, a student may take advantage of the students working in finishing the activity. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue my argument. Much of the problem and cons of problem-based learning centers around group work. If a teacher takes time to develop activities and comprehensive class, much of the cons will disappear. PBL does not accommodate all students, especially for the students who are lazy in learning process. It means PBL just gives a large chance for active students in developing their competence. If the fact is like this, then working in group cannot be conducive. Ladies and gentlemen, in effective project-based learning or PBL, experiences students are actively involved in decision-making, confidently manage accountability with their team, and develop quality product and performance. Many schools achieve this success will understand when PBL units do not achieve the expected result. Teachers, especially if they start the initial attempts with PBL, may find that their difficulties emerge in one or more of these three general areas. Ladies and gentlemen, fortunately, addressing such issues and leveraging PBL experiences to create deeper and more rewarding students, if not easy, at least very achievable. Problem in group dynamics project-based learning is a great structure for students to practice collaboration in teams. Well done, group work guides team members to help each other understand content and take complex assessment that by in-depth knowledge of core concept. Problems occur when some students do most of the work. Teams work together not to work together. Sometimes the happens because one or more students refuse to their work. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we totally agree with this motion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all my argument, and thank you.
All right, thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. The time is 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Now, this is the opportunity for Deputy Leader of Opposition, Mr. Elias Villa. This is time for you to respond.
Ladies and gentlemen, because learn material inside in class without implemented, it is rubbish. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, the honorable judges, timekeeper, moderator, and all of the participants in this English debate competition 2023, and especially our beloved team partner from the government team. I am leader of opposition in this house, so totally disagree with this motion. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue my argument, allow me to give some criticism and some response about the argument from the government team. Ladies and gentlemen, was I hear about the argument from the opposite team say that with the with the project-based learning is disturbed about the class management, and not only about that, they are also say about with the project-based learning, the teacher is not be facilitator, but my opinion that their argument still not right, because as we know that with the project-based learning is helping the students, and not only about we are learning inside the class, but we also need about to implement it in our daily life, because it is so really necessary. It's the main point, the education. It's main point in education and benefit education in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, I continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that project-based learning is a part of Merdeka Belajar curriculum. We know that the Merdeka Belajar curriculum is no thanks. Merdeka Belajar curriculum is gives so many positive impact in students. Be like the students more. Yes, please.
Okay, thanks for attention to me. Ladies and gentlemen, before our students said that they disagree with this motion, but based on the data we found, according to the teacher, the net X facilitator for the project-based successful. However, this doesn't always cover, especially the teacher are not to outward the
I get your point, but I also have the data. I have also the proof that with the project-based learning is give the benefit to students, because I have the data reported by the Kompas.com, April 22, 2022, by students who do water filters. It's the task for the teachers, the project-based learning, to consider that the result of this project are very useful, because they are useful for everyday life, such as for people in remote villages to use as water filters. I continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen.
My friends from the opposition team. But my question is, according to teachers, especially if teacher is now to this teaching equipment.
Okay, I get your point, but ladies and gentlemen, when we are studying inside class, we are to memorize about the materials in the class. It's not useful if the material inside the class is not full with our daily life, because we are also need to implement it about many materials we get inside the class. So I continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, Merdeka Belajar curriculum.
Can I say something, please?
No, thanks. I'm speaking. Merdeka Belajar curriculum has implemented the Pancasila students' profit. Yes, please.
Okay. What about the people of the students who has a problem project-based learning? How can you describe it?
I will explain your question in my following argument. Ladies and gentlemen, the Merdeka Belajar curriculum helps to implement the Pancasila students' profit. The Ministry of Education on Culture, Nadiem Makarim, emphasizes that project-based learning must be carried out in all schools and universities in Indonesia. With project-based learning helps implement the Pancasila students' profit, namely fight, mutual cooperation, independent, critical, and innovative. Ladies and gentlemen, the Merdeka Belajar curriculum helps the students how about to implement it about the way the students get the materials inside the class and useful for daily life, for their daily life. And not only about that,
POI,
also, please. No thanks. Also with this, the project-based learning is the part of
Can I say something,
No
please?
thanks. Project-based learning is the part of the Merdeka Belajar curriculum, also affect to the rank education in Indonesia. Yes, please.
You say that you disagree with this motion, but according to Bransford and Stein in Warsono and Haryanto, it is said that project-based learning is a comprehensive teaching approach that involves students in cooperative and ongoing investigative activities.
Okay, I get your point, but you are not following about my argument, because you know, with the project-based learning is the part of the Merdeka Belajar curriculum is to affect the rank, to increase the rank education in Indonesia. As we know that I have the proof that on the international stage, Indonesia ranks 55th as a contract with the best education system in the world. Many students from the Thailand, Malaysia, Brunei Darussalam, and other countries have attended several public and private universities. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have the data to show that the positive impact project-based learning is have the more positive impact in our daily life, and 18% gave advantage for the students' education. Why? Because the students can have the independent, and not only about that, they are also the innovative about what they are learned inside the class, and also they are implemented in our daily life. Basically, learning in school needs real evidence for useful in facing the next life. Project-based learning emphasizing learning-centered learning to carry out in the depth education. Project-based learning makes students can do learning exploration by taking a research-based approach to real and relevant problems. Ladies and gentlemen, so about our argument today, so I am a deputy leader of opposition, so really totally disagree with this motion. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elias Villa, Deputy Leader of Opposition. Time span is 7 minutes and 12 seconds. And now is the chance for the government whip, Mr. Sian Goru, to it's your last chance to refute the opposition team and also to strengthen your claim or position. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the chance given to me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our honorable judges, moderator, timekeeper, jury, and other participants in this debating contest today, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that, our motion today is this House believes that project-based learning is not effective in achieving students' competence. Let me some points that support our position in this debating context, why we still agree with this motion. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the definition about project-based learning, it seems PBL-based learning model to apply it. But here are we standing here, I remind you that besides being having advantage, this model is still considered to have. Ladies and gentlemen, the weakness of building 2013 as follows. The first requires a lot of time and cost. The second requires a lot of media and learning process. The third requires teacher and student who are both ready to learn and develop. The first, there is a concern that students will master one particular topic what they see did. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the weakness is the project-based learning invaluable online. As follows. One, it takes a lot of time.
May I say something, please?
No thanks, I'm speaking. The second, requires a lot of time and money. And the next.
May I say something, please?
No thanks, I'm speaking. Many instructors are comfortable with traditional to classic.
May I say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to know that many students now feel more comfortable with the project-based learning than other learning method, where the project-based learning can make students happy to study. So what do you think about this?
Okay, thanks for your questions. I think I will answer your questions after I continue my argument. Let me continue my argument. So, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of equipment provided, students who has weakness experiment and gathering information will experience difficulties. So, in the next, there is a possibility the student is already active group work. So, ladies and gentlemen, collaborative teams, well-done group work, guide these team members to have the other understand content.
Please.
No thanks. As complex assessment build deeper knowledge for concept. Problem occurs some students to must avoid.
Please.
Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the government said that project-based learning is not effective in achieve student competence, but in real life we need to apply this project. So when we face the problem and project, we have been trained to solve them. So what do you think about that?
Okay, thanks for your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, but based on the data we found, according to Joyce and Well, Meanwhile, according to unrest in synthesized learning model is a planning of pattern, the use of guide in planning learning model in classroom. So ladies and gentlemen, let me continue my argument. Teamwork together, not work togetherness. Sometimes it happens because one or more students refuse to do work. Other times it happens because one or two members don't want to involve it. Wherein the year, these have demand invite for efforts to pierce and passive to build skills. So ladies and gentlemen, based on the opinion, first, the weakness of project-based model learning, we can conclude the weakness of this.
Draw, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you say that with the project-based learning is not effective to achieve a student's competence, but we are also to see about when we are studying inside the class, we know about the material inside the class, we are also need to implement it in our daily life. So what do you think about that?
Okay, thanks my brother from the government team for the questions, but in this debating context, we totally agree with this motion. Let me continue my argument. So ladies and gentlemen, monitor every student active to teacher, active must be more extra work streets in supervising on every student active. So ladies and gentlemen, the next argument, even tasks they have sufficient time collaboration, they are still requires more time achieving maximum result. So ladies and gentlemen, organization and learning materials, planning, implementation of the method, it is difficulties requires a special express for the teacher, while the teacher are not ready for this. Ladies and gentlemen, must be able to close the right in topic according to child's needs to children, enlarge facilities, and have good learning resources needed. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject matter.
Please.
Yes, please.
Okay, we know that with the project-based learning, and the students can to lift about the problems in our daily life. So it's to affect for the next day for the students that to impact the students about the many problems come to the students, and they are also can to improve them. So what do you think about that?
Okay, this is my brother from the opposition team. I will answer all your questions, but based on the data we found is PBL course is groups cited. Lazy student may take advantage of the students' work. Let me continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, even though they have difficulties in collaboration, they are still requires more time achieving maximum result. Organization of learning materials, planning implementation, difficulties requires skills expressed from the teacher. So, ladies and gentlemen, must be able to cause the rise of unit topic according to the child's students. The subject matter is often too broad, can become obscure, mind unit the success based on the opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, many instructions are compatible with traditional classes. There are instruction play a learning role in the class. Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of equipment to provide it, students who have weakness in experiment and gathering information will experience difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen, there are possibilities in students that are active of group. When the topic is given to each group different, it is worth the students understand to the topic overall. Classroom are reader, difficult to control kids, easy to get noise at times, implementers to project-based because of the volume of the subject, so provide opportunities to read and for the required skills of teacher, master, classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Government Whip, Mr. Sian Guru. That time is 7 minutes and 24 seconds. Now is the chance for the Opposition Whip, Ms. Piranti. This is your opportunity to rebut the government and also to summarize opposition's case. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, the honorable judges, timekeeper, moderator, and all the participants in this English debate competition 2023, and especially our beloved team partner from government team. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, motion this time, this House believes that project-based learning is not effective to achieve student competence. In this occasion, I just want to show you more examples for this motion, such as project-based learning is effective to achieve student competence. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I'd like to mention the argument from Leader of Opposition and Deputy Leader of Opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning very important to apply in very school because students can critical thinking and creative. No thanks. Project-based learning makes students more active to solve problems.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay. How can we train students to make a project with using project-based learning? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will explain your question in my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning makes students more active to solve problems. Project-based learning brings change to students for the materials and software project. Based learning with students for a bail plans well, solve problems, make decisions, and give chance for students for more independent. No thanks. Develop active participation of students. Project-based learning
please?
No thanks. Project-based learning give opportunities to students for read materials and solve projects with a variety of. Yes, please.
Okay, my question is, what kind of learning model that gives chance to the students to be active in learning process?
Because project-based learning makes students more active to solve problems. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning brings change to students for reading materials and solve projects. Project-based learning with students for a well plan well, solve problems, make decisions, and give chance for students more independent. Let me continue my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning give opportunity.
Say something, please?
No thanks. Opportunity to students for big materials and solve projects.
Can I say something,
with
please?
No thanks. With a variety of interests and build collaboration work. Ladies and gentlemen.
Please?
Yes, please.
Okay. How does project-based learning work? Thank you.
One skin.
Okay. How does project-based learning work?
But we are also have many benefits about the project-based learning is effective to achieve student competence. Thank you. Project-based learning teach students about skill. No thanks. For identity.
Please.
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks for your answers. Sorry for the chance. Whatever for students if students follow the project-based model learning. Thank you.
Wolfskin.
Okay. What effect for students if students follow the project-based model learning? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning teach students about skill for identify, competence, or education with application rate, analysis, systems, and information to reduce various forms of learning results. Students thus just learn it and memorize, but students must have skill to meet daily needs. Let me continue my argument. Project-based learning teach students responsible for mastering the material and them. They can choose. No thanks. Choose material that will be used and interesting. Project-based learning
POA, please.
make boring learning and help students
Can I say
and
something,
teachers
please?
from. Yes, please.
Okay, my question is, what purpose from the project-based learning?
I have explained your question in my argument. So, ladies and gentlemen, why project-based learning is effective to achieve student competence? Because project-based learning has a benefit or advantage in achieve student competence. Based on compass.com, there are motivate students by involving them in learning. The second, providing learning opportunities for various disciplines. The third, assisting life association outside of school. The fourth, providing unique opportunities because educators build relationship with a student or facilitators. So, ladies and gentlemen, our team totally disagree with this motion because that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Piranti. So that was the opposition whip. The time span was 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Now we would like to give the opportunity for both teams to prepare their reply speeches. And the first opportunity will be given to the opposition team for the reply speaker. And this is your time to try to convince the audience on why we should support your claim. Time is yours. Mr. Siangoro. Yeah?
Ladies and
Mr. Elias Villa. Sorry, Mr. Elias Villa, the reply speaker from the opposition team. Time is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, because project-based learning can increase the students' abilities for build relationship and build communicate with other people, so our team totally disagree with this motion. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, and in this chance, I will to give the conclusion about the argument from the deputy leader of opposition, and the opposition whip. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the project-based learning gives so many positive impact on the students' ability, because the students not only to learn about the materials inside the class, but also the students also have to implement it in our daily life, because it's to give the students have the independence, and not only about the independence, also give the innovate for the students to make anything what they want, and it's totally to give main impact, the positive impact for the students. And ladies and gentlemen, the project-based learning is the part of the Merdeka Belajar curriculum, and it's affect the Merdeka Belajar curriculum. It's affect the rank education in Indonesia is increased. As we know that, be like I tell you about my data. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only about that, the project-based learning also really effective in our students' competence, because the students can criticize thinking and creative. Project-based learning makes students more active to solve problems, and not only about that, project-based learning brings chance to the students for dig materials and solve the projects. Project-based learning guides students for able to plan well, solve problems, make decisions, and give chance for the students for more independent. Ladies and gentlemen, also the project-based learning develop active student participation of students. Project-based learning give opportunity to the students for dig materials and solve projects with a variety of interests and build collaboration work. Project-based learning done in groups for increase and build relation and gather active collaboration to solve many problems. And when the students can solve the problems with together, and I believe that is to give the good collaboration for the student and also affect in the next life. Ladies and gentlemen, not only about that, the project-based learning also teach students about the skills for identify competence or education with application rate, analysis, synthesis, and information to produce various forms of learning result. Students doesn't just learn and memorize, but students must have skills to meet daily needs. And is to give to force the students that students not only about learning inside the class to memorize many materials in class, but also to force the students must have the implemented about they are accept the materials inside the class, because when they can implement it about the material inside the class, it's totally so really give the positive impact in the next life. Ladies and gentlemen, project-based learning teach students responsible for mastering the materials, and then they can choose material that will be used and interesting. Project-based learning make boring learning and helps students and teachers for create interesting materials and add students' learning skills. So in this time, I am and our team from the oppositive so totally disagree with this motion. That is all. Thank you.
So thank you. So that was Mr. Elias Villa, reply speaker from opposition team. Time span is 4 minutes and 12 seconds. And now it's the opportunity for the government team to provide a reply speaker. This is also your opportunity to convince the audience on why we should support your motion. Time is yours, Ms. Nilda Roa.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially my brother and my sister from the opposition team. Based on first speaker, second speaker, and third speaker, I have conclusion that project-based learning, or PBL, is a learning model that uses a project or activity as a medium. According to the Ministry of Education and Culture, 2013, students carry out exploration, assessment, interpretation, synthesis, and information to produce various forms of learning outcomes. Project-based learning is a learning method that uses problems as a first step, gathering and integrating new knowledge based on experiences in real activities. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Bransford, Stein, Inversono, and Haryanto, it is said that project-based learning is a comprehensive teaching approach that involves students in cooperative and ongoing investigative activities. Project-based learning is designed to be used to combat problems that students need to investigate and understand. Given that each student has a different learning style, project-based learning provides an opportunity for students to explore material in a variety of ways that are meaningful to them and conduct experiments collaboratively. Project-based learning is in-depth investigation of a real-world topic and will be valuable for students' attention and efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Bransford and Stein, as cited by Varsono 2012, definition project-based learning is comprehensive teaching approach that involves students in cooperative and ongoing investigative activities, according to Grant 2002. This project-based learning not only examines in relationship between theoretical and practical information, but also motivates students to reflect on what students learn in learning to a real project and can improve students' scientific performance. It is hoped that there are advantages or merits that weakness in project-based learning that is expected not be an absolute for students who carry it out, because this all depends on the role of the teacher who we help for facilitate the learning. The teacher role in implementing project-based learning include Planning and design learning. Create a learning strategy. Imagine the interaction that will occur between the teacher and students. Look for students' uniqueness. Assessing students in transport by a variety of assessment. Create portfolios of students' work. The sentence consists of starting from the question or start with the essential question. Learning begins with essential question, namely question that can give assessment to students in carry out an activity. Design project activities or design and plan for the project. Planning is carried out collaboratively between teacher and students. The students are expected to fill one of the project. Planning contains the rules of the games, selection of activities that can support in answering essential questions and knowing the tools and materials that can be used to help complete project activities. Teachers and students collaboratively arrange a schedule of activities and complete the project. Activities at this stage include making in timeline for expanding the project, making project completion deadlines, guiding students to make appropriate material to the project, asking students to make explanation or reason about choosing a method. So ladies and gentlemen, finally, we totally agree with this motion. That's all, and thank you.
So thank you so much. That was Ms. Nilda Roa as the reply speaker from the government team, and the time span is 3 minutes and 52 seconds. So that also marks the end of the debate for today for this chamber, for both teams. Thank you so much for giving us your best in this debate, and yeah, wish you the best also for the future competition and studies. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, both teams can go back to the floor. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Thank you. Coming up next, the last chamber, or the last participant for the semi-final round, that would be from SMA Swasta Katolik Regina Pacis and also from SMA Swasta Katolik Thomas Aquino. Before I ask for the representatives to come forward, I would like to also remind all participants, including for the final round later on, please look carefully on the motion and be careful, beware of the key words that's in there, so that you can have strong arguments and you can have strong basis for, defending the motion or arguing against the motion. All right? Okay, thank you. Now we will ask the representative from both teams, please, coming forward to choose your position and motion. Silakan posisi.
Okay, in here we, from the SMA Se-Kabupaten Regina Pacis Bajawa, get the opposition team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we from Thomas Aquino Senior High School as the government team.
Thank you, and now the motion.
The motion for today is, this House believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit.
Thank you. We will give you a minute to collect your friends as well as the materials needed for today's debate. Once again, judges, the motion is, this House believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. Tulis pakai tulis tangan. Yeah. Thank you. Both teams, please occupy the designated benches. And without waiting any longer, we would like to give the opportunity for the government team to introduce your team members.
Okay, good morning judges, good morning teachers, and good morning all our participants. We are from Thomas Aquinas Senior High School as the government team. My name is Ningsi as the first speaker. Thank you. Next.
I am Jenny as the second speaker. And next.
I am Icha as the third speaker. Our motion today is this house believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. That's all.
Thank you, government team. Now it's opposition team. Please introduce your team members, please.
Okay, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Regina Patisserie High School, and now we would like to introduce ourselves. Start from me. I'm Natal as the leader of opposition.
I am Talia of the second speaker of opposition.
And I am Michelle as the opposition whip. That is all from us. Let's make this debate fun.
Ooh, it is fun already, yeah? Thank you so much. Now we will give you 5 minutes to prepare yourself, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Aduh, saya tadi masih belakang, saya lupa namanya. Thomas Aquino. Thomas Aquino. All right. So now we will start from the government side of the House. We would like to give the opportunity for the Prime Minister to please give your definition of the motion and also the arguments for the motion. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the time given to me. Right now, I will explain my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad is desire to learn and gain experience on large land. Studying abroad is a attempt to achieve a better future. We realize that a person's future will begin influenced by his education. By studying in the right countries, we will again experience the global insight broader in English. Studying abroad is definition of attaining education of foreign country in order to serve broader perspective of the different culture and expand to horizons. Learning goes beyond traditional classroom teaching. Studying abroad is a challenge but very fulfilling experience. We learn the self-managed in page. As a result, we become stronger from our student abroad experience. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad is programmed as education programs that allow students to visit a foreign country, live there, and study for weeks, months, or over a whole year. Studying abroad is the dream given of programs, usually to train university, that allow students to give a foreign country at that core universities. Studying abroad is our opportunity to continue our Chilean students in foreign country. Studying abroad means going to other country with the same intentions of the going so much more than the intentions on the check place or host by list. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad is everything that is obeyed or obeyed by someone is the carried out abroad to support their education. Studying abroad is very useful, not just saying that atmosphere and environment that is different from beaver. Studying abroad provides a lower experience to those who take it. Not only that, studying abroad will be mixed or more change with all the cultures and conditions on other countries. Ladies and gentlemen.
POI, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the government thinks that study abroad is very useful for the students who take it, ladies and gentlemen. Which means in here, the government team support our standing position, ladies and gentlemen. Because what? Because in here, we talk about the degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit itself. So what do you think about it?
Okay, I will answer. I don't agree with your motion. Okay, I will continue my argument. The degradation of nationalism and the gradation or any of the love of is the peoples nowadays are saying nationalism and nationalism of the most or younger generation has faded in because of younger generation cultures and historical understanding of these people is changing looking. Today, you are generous and more like the implemented extra cultures and they proud at the cultures of others. The gathering of patriotism is the gathering of the vein of own self-cares in favor of nationalism. In the case, many people but busy about personal affairs. School order of lack. 1. Money offenses. Financial insecurity can be one of the most significant triggers of the search for the student abroad. Financial stress come from his thoughts on the other day-to-day living expenses. Expenses at the beginning of the international education trip, the amount the spending seems extensive. Thinking about thought and faiths, academic commitments, accommodation, insurance, and many other financial expense waiting to pay before startful. 2. Other language. Studying abroad or live abroad often means speaks a language different from other mother tongue. Living abroad can also affect the mental well-being of international students. 3. Homesickness. Living in a foreign country is like to make homesick. Nostalgia can be also considered intermission, a super from the coast to us. Sometimes the feeling can be overwhelmed, explained during the first year on a university, homeschool many about excursion time in working life. 4. Is the difficulty to adapt to new country. Feeling the world are not cut or the first other when we move in a new country can be challenging. Its influence compressing against us different currents and get to us local foods, but also more spelled aspects such as cultural and cultural difference. That factor can be a real change in your efforts.
PI, please.
Yes, please.
The government team just said before that they have learned a different culture in other country. It means that they increase their knowledge about the other culture and can improve their own country. So what do you think about that?
I will continue my argument. 5 can be overwhelmed. Living alone in a new environment might be a notch to some people feel quite overwhelmed. Explains at the beginning of the semester where everything is known and you have managed everything by yourself. If you can overcome these differences, there are after risks or stress during your studying. 8. Communication issue. The last source of the study abroad is a common issue. Failure to speak a local language and less social communication problems. Ladies and gentlemen, from the definition or explains above, it can be quoted that learning abroad is a process in which we look, experiences, and inspiration about education in developing countries. Learning to go abroad is dream and dream, but one on the hand, learning go abroad can depend to spirit of Indonesian nationalism and patriotism, which many Indonesian children play to abroad to education. This will cause the Indonesian spirit of nationalism and patriotism to fall solely. Okay, based on my explanation, I really agree with our motion today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was Ms. Ningsi Waga as the Prime Minister. Now we'd like to give the opportunity for Ms. Natal Raga as the Leader of Opposition to challenge the definition of the motion and your arguments. Time is yours.
I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable educators, timekeeper, moderator, and all the participants, and also our beloved partner from the opposition team. With our motion today, this House believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. But we from the opposition team totally disagree about this motion. But before I deliver my speech, I would like to give some responses or rebuttal to what the government team stated before. The first, they give the background, ladies and gentlemen, they say about study abroad is very useful for the increase, for the students, that it can increase the knowledge of the students itself. Ladies and gentlemen, which means ladies in here, they support our standing position, ladies and gentlemen, because we talk about the degradation, which means they have to give the strong argument about the degradation itself, ladies and gentlemen. And then also they say about get the foreign culture, it can decrease their knowledge about the culture in their country, such as the mother tongue itself. But ladies and gentlemen, when we study abroad, which means we can make people around the world or people in the world that we study abroad itself to know more about our culture itself, ladies and gentlemen. So I would like to continue to our arguments. Ladies and gentlemen, so we from the opposition team have 2 points of arguments. The first is study abroad can bring knowledge from other country to improve their country. And the second is studying abroad means introducing their own country to the other country. So the first argument will be explained by Binatal as the leader of opposition, and the second argument will be explained by Talia as the deputy leader of opposition, and our arguments will be concluded by Michelle as the opposition whip. Okay, so let's see about the first argument. Study abroad can bring knowledge from other country to improve the quality in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, this motion talk about the ideology of Pancasila and also about the education system. So in here, it's better to see about the impact of studying abroad with the relation to the national and patriotism spirit, and see about the impact of studying abroad to the education system. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, experience is a good teacher. So that with many experience, we can get many information and knowledge. The first things first is about why people go to studying abroad. So ladies and gentlemen, the main purpose why people go to studying abroad, because people want to get many experience, expand the social relation, develop the self-quality, go to the top university, etc. In here, we never underestimate why people go to study abroad, because our education is so bad. No, ladies and gentlemen, something that we have to know is about in this era, as developing countries, we live with the other countries, which means we have to get many new innovation from the other countries, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, in the 2045, Indonesia's target to be Indonesia have the program to be the golden generation, and ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's target to be equal to superpower. And ladies and gentlemen, now we are in the developing countries. Yes, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the first speaker from the opposition team respond about my first speaker say before about the increase of education. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, as the first speaker from our team, don't say about the increase of education and so on, but my friends say that studying abroad is an opportunity to continue our college studies in foreign country. Studying abroad means going to another country with the sincere intention of doing so much more than sightseeing and seeking place of our bucket list. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a data from the KOMSOS.com. Give the example. If a doctor who graduates from foreign country must submit their certificate to Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education for equalization, they also have to follow the procedure of the Indonesian Medical Council and the Indonesian Doctor Association. So which take one until 2 years and contracts alone. I'm still speaking, I'm sure. This makes them lazy to return to Indonesia and choose the work that in the country. So it means studying abroad can cause degradation, nationalism and patriotism spirit.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, so I'll go to point, but ladies and gentlemen, we have to see in the real situation, ladies and gentlemen, that why the students go to study abroad, because they want to add their knowledge itself, ladies and gentlemen, and give the relation, and then ladies and gentlemen, they can submit the knowledge and the relation itself to the progress of our country, ladies and gentlemen. So in here, as the explanation from the government team, which, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot be the degradation of the nationalism and patriotism spirit, ladies and gentlemen, because the purpose of the studying abroad, and we can see in the real situation that people who go study abroad, they can bring the many knowledge to the progress of our country itself. So I would like to continue.
POI, please.
Gentlemen, yes, please.
Okay, I don't agree with your argument because, based on my opinion, the existence of school abroad can make students adopt foreign culture that are not accordance with the norms and values that exist in our nation. This triggers the fading of a sense of nationalism and patriotism among the nation's younger generation. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in here, we never underestimate why people go to study abroad, because our education system is so bad. No, ladies and gentlemen, the people go to study abroad because they want to, as the golden generation, ladies and gentlemen, we have to take the role in the progress of our country. So that we go to study abroad, get many knowledge, get many relation to the progress of our country to help the improvement quality of our country, ladies and gentlemen. So I would like to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, according to UNESCO, the declaration of the 18th of April 2022 stated, Institute of Statistics, there are 53 604 students who will continue their studies abroad during 2021, and this number is predicted to continue to increase every year. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to take the growth, we have to learn many things, and we cannot be stuck with the situation and condition in our country. So we have to gain many knowledge. We cannot just be stuck because, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the developing countries, and we cannot just be stuck with the situation and condition as the developing country itself. But we have to move forward to get the purpose of the golden generation in 2045 to be equal to power, and we are the developing countries, so that we have to take many things for the progress country, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, in here we talk about the collaborative and social in the study abroad itself, which means, ladies and gentlemen, when we go to the study abroad, when we go to the other country, we can get more relationship to improve our social skills, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this is all my argument, and thank you.
Thank you so much. So that was Ms. Natal Raga as the leader of the opposition team, and the time span was 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Now we would like to give the opportunity for the Deputy Prime Minister. This is your chance for refute the claims mentioned by the leader of opposition, as well as strengthening your position for the motion. Time is yours, Ms. Jenny.
Okay, thank you. My friends, as the first speaker explained about the definition and theory about the mission, now I will explain to you about duration. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree to the mission because studying abroad can reduce the spirit of patriotism because students lack the spirit of love for their homeland. For example, we in Indonesia have many good quality schools, but our students here prefer studying abroad just to find their new experiences. So here, the form of student concern for the motherland is still lacking. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad can reduce the spirit of nationalism. For example, studying abroad students seem to forget their respective culture and prefer to follow the foreign culture they get from studying abroad. Not only that, studying abroad also reduces...
PI, please?
Yes, please.
Can the government team give the data how many percentage of the students that can the government team give the data how many percentage of the students that join the or they follow the foreign culture itself?
Okay, I will answer your question. Based on compass.com, we from data, we are many 65% for the student abroad can they lost the culture. Okay, I will continue my argument. By studying or going to school in the country, it can foster nationalism and the spirit of patriotism because a sense of nationalism is very necessary for the survival of country, which of course has the hope of creating a sense of unity within the country. The younger generation among students is the next generation of the nation. The importance of fostering a spirit of nationalism and patriotism among students.
May I say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you just said before that studying abroad can reduce their love to their own nation itself. But ladies and gentlemen, the students want to study abroad, which means they need an agreement from their own country. So the student will think like, oh my gosh, the country just give me a chance to go to study abroad. So in other words, the country give them the chance and they will love their country. So what do you think about that?
Okay, I will answer. Efforts to increase the spirit of nationalism can be started from basic things such as singing the national anthem, always attending flag ceremonies every Monday or throughout Pancasila, and civics education, which can be obtained throughout school learning. Okay, I will continue my speech. The importance of fostering a spirit of nationalism and patriotism among students or the younger generation in the current era is advanced the nation, which will be more advanced if the younger generation in the nation has a high attitude of nationalism. Efforts that increase the spirit of nationalism can be started for basic things such as singing the national anthem, always attending flag kermesse every Monday, or track Pancasila and civics education, which can be obtained through school learning. That way, the younger generation or students can have a sense of nationalism and a spirit of patriotism that will continue to develop within the generation. So here, I, from the second speaker, really agree that studying abroad is evidence of
POI,
a decline,
please.
nothings the spirit of nationalism and patriotism. Ladies and gentlemen, so far studying abroad has reduced the spirit of patriotism and nationalism, which is fading, and the lack of respect for Pancasila, the flag, and nationalism anthem. Example of schools abroad, they have lowered the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, though globalization have caused a negative impact on society, have a positive impact to society. Globalization will make students familiar with the history and struggles of the heroes who have fought for this nation. Coupled with
PI, please.
The strong flow of technological developments in Indonesia, it has led to the fading of a sense of nationalism among students. Ladies and gentlemen, because with the development of technology, students love region cultures more. An example of this except imitating or idolizing origin by bands, boy bands or girl bands, and imitating Western culture which is not appropriate to be implemented in Indonesia, and always favor overseas products. As previously explained, nationalism is needed in the survival of a country with the hope of creating a sense of unity within the country. Patriotism is the attitude and behavior of a person who is carried out with the enthusiasm, willing to sacrifice for the independence, progress, glory, and prosperity of the nation. In general, patriotism and nationalism are closely related. To be able to have a spirit of patriotism, one must have a sense of nationalism. If patriotism is a spirit that is willing to sacrifice for the sake of its country, then nationalism is a nationalism that implies awareness and a spirit of love for the motherland, having a sense of pride as a nation, or maintaining national honor. Ladies and gentlemen, nationalism is very important to the life of the nation and state because it is a form of love and respect for one's own nation. With that, you can do what is best for their nation, maintain the integrity of national unity, and increase the nation's dignity before the world. Patriotism is also very important because patriotism is an attitude of being willing to sacrifice one's energy, property, and others for the sake of the Indonesian people. With an attitude of patriotism, the Indonesian people can become a strong country and not easy conquer. Okay, in this case, I emphasize again that I strongly agree with the mission. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that's Ms. Jenny Uta as Deputy Prime Minister. Time span is 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Now it's the opportunity for Deputy Leader of Opposition, Ms. Talianiki. It's your opportunity or your chance to refute the Deputy Prime Minister's claim and also advance your arguments for your position. Time is yours.
Okay, so I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable educator, timekeeper, and the moderator, and all the participants of this debate competition, especially our beloved friend from the opposition, from the government team. With our motion today, this House believes that This house believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and the patriotism spirit. We, from the opposition team, totally disagree with this motion. But before I deliver my speech, I will give the government team some responses or rebuttal. They say study abroad can decrease the love of their nation. Ladies and gentlemen, when the student go to study abroad, their knowledge will increase and can implement it to develop their country. In here, they show their love to their country in their way. From what way, ladies and gentlemen? From their study hard in abroad, their knowledge will increase. We can take the real example. From our Minister of Education, Nadiem Makarim, he implemented his knowledge from the progress country to develop Indonesia. What mean, ladies and gentlemen? When the student go to study abroad, they can implement their knowledge for develop their country. Ladies and gentlemen, when the student go to school abroad to study, they're introducing our culture to the outside. Why? Because many scholarships bring about cultural exchange. An example of the scholarship school program abroad, Bina Antar Budaya, where this scholarship program over school abroad is as a means of cultural exchange. From here, Indonesia culture can be known to foreign countries.
POI, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, the opposition team, I don't agree with your argument because you say before the studying abroad can make students implement their knowledge for their country. I don't agree, but in fact, the globalization will make students familiar with the history and struggle of the heroes who have fought for this nation. Coupled with the strong flow of technological development in Indonesia, it has led to fading of a sense of nationalism among students. Because with the development of technology, students love foreign culture more. An example of this is excessive implementing foreign boy band or girl bands and imitating Western culture, which is not appropriate to be admitted in Indonesia, and always favor outside product. So I think the studying abroad can make a degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. That's all. What do you think about that?
Okay, I got your point, but ladies and gentlemen in here, when the student go to study abroad, they will get the knowledge from the progress country. In here, we can take the real example from our Minister of Education that they implementation his knowledge from the progress countries to develop Indonesia, and about the girl band from the other country that as the government team said before that it's not about when they are go study abroad they get they know about the girl band or the boy band. They can know it with their phone while they are in Indonesia. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, here we emphasize how students from Indonesia who study abroad are able to introduce Indonesia. And for this, their sense of nationalism will grow. They will be proud of their homeland because, in fact, citizens of our foreign country really admire and respect the diversity of Indonesia. Reported from cominfo.com, the president said that many foreign tourists admire Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, from this we can prove that studying abroad makes Indonesia more famous. And from here, it will attract public attention to come to Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, according to British Journal, studying abroad can improve the knowledge of culture and country because of what, ladies and gentlemen, in real situation, we can see our Minister of Education, Mr. Nadiem Makarim, he's implemented his knowledge from the progress country to develop Indonesia. And from this, his knowledge is useful for this country. Ladies and gentlemen.
POA, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, tenants can implement the technology for the studying abroad can reduce the spirit of patriotism because students lack the spirit of love for their homeland. For example, we in Indonesia have many good quality schools, but our students here prefer studying abroad just to find their new experiences. So here, the form of student concern for the home motherland is still lacking. What do you think about that? Thank you.
Okay, I got your point, but in here, ladies and gentlemen, we can see in the real situation that the government give the student the scholarship to go to study abroad. For what, ladies and gentlemen? For develop our country. When the student finish their study abroad, they can go back to their homeland and implement their knowledge for develop their country, ladies and gentlemen. And in here, ladies and gentlemen, the scholarship from the government, it's clearly proven, it's clearly proved that the government itself, it's support the study abroad. Because of what, ladies and gentlemen? There is many type of scholarship that can bring the student for study abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, from here, the conclusion is the studying abroad is very important to develop our country. Because of what, ladies and gentlemen? Because from the studying abroad, the student can introducing their own country to the other country, and it will develop their love for their country. That's all for me, and thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was Ms. Talianiki as Deputy Leader of Opposition. And now we would like to give the opportunity for Ms. Icha Rita as the Government Whip to review the opposition team as well as to summarize the government's case. Time is yours.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the opportunity given to me. Before I deliver my material, I will give the feedback or answer answer the response from the second speaker as the opposition team. The second speaker from opposition team said that the studying abroad can make students, they can go back in their country and implement that in their country. So I don't agree with that because I have a data. Doctor who got guaranteed from foreign university must be submit their certificate to Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Educational for equalization. They also have to follow the procedure of the Indonesian Medical Council and the Indonesian Doctor Association, which take 1 until 2 years and contact allowed. This make them lazy to return in Indonesia and choose to work in that country. So it means the studying abroad can cause degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. Okay, my friends, as the first speaker and second speaker, had explained to you about the definition or theory and the some reason. Now I will explain more about our argument. Ladies and gentlemen, as previously explained, I totally agree with our motion today. Nationalism can be interpreted as an understanding that considers the highest loyalty of each person to be attached to the nation state, or as the mental attitude and behavior of individual and society that show high quality and devotion of this nation and the country. The sense of love their motherland that is not excessive, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, nationalism is needed in the survival of a country with the hope of creating a sense of unity within the country. Ladies and gentlemen, if patriotism is a spirit that is willing to sacrifice for the sake of this country, no thanks, then nationalism is a nationalism that implies awareness and a spirit of love for the motherland, having a sense of pride as a nation or maintaining national honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, nationalism is very important to the life of the nation and state because it is a form of love and respect for one's own nation. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, you can do what is the best for the nation, maintain the integrity of national unity, and increase the nation's dignity before the world. Patriotism is also very important because patriotism is an attitude of being willing to sacrifice one's energy, property. Yes, please.
Okay, you just said that patriotism means sacrifice to their own nation. So it means that if the students follow the studying abroad, they sacrifice for their own nation because they go to other countries which have a different culture and a different situation and a different environment. So it means that they are sacrificed for their own country. So what do you think about that?
Okay, I will give the feedback from your POI. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a sense of nationalism and patriotism among youth at this time only appears when there is a motivating factor, such as the case of claims of some Indonesian culture by other country, or when there are Indonesian athletes who excel on the international stage. I will continue my explain. Ladies and gentlemen, with an attitude of patriotism, the Indonesian people can become a strong country and not easy to conquer. However, with the development of the time, the sense of nationalism and patriotism among the youth is fading. Ladies and gentlemen, cause of fading nationalism and patriotism among youth include the government during the reform era was far from the expectation of the youth, so that they were disappointed in the performance of the current government. The revelation of case of corruption, embezzlement, or state government, family and environmental attitudes do not reflect a sense of nationalism and patriotism. So young people emulate these attitudes. Young people are good imitators of their surrounding. Ladies and gentlemen, with the waning sense of nationalism and patriotism can threaten and destroy the Indonesian nation. This happens because nationalism and security will become weak and become easily penetrated by outsiders. The Indonesian nation is currently not being colonialized in physical form, but being colonized mentally and ideologically. Ladies and gentlemen, the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, according to Director General Putan, is indispensable in nation building. This can also have an impact on every element of the nation. No thanks to work and strive hard to a safe identity and self-confidence as a dignified nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this existence of school abroad can make students adopt foreign culture that are not in accordance with the norms and values that exist in our nation. These treasures is fading. Yes, please.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what we have to see in here is about when the students go to study abroad, when they have to follow the foreign culture itself. So ladies and gentlemen, as we know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a sentence say that di mana bumi dipijak, di situ langit dijunjung, which means, ladies and gentlemen, the students have to bring it to the culture itself, and they can add the knowledge of the culture for the students itself. So what do you think about it?
Okay, I got your point, but I still don't agree with your argument. The existence of school abroad can make students adopt foreign cultures that are not in accordance with the norms and values that exist in our nation, such as Pancasila or the each norma. This is just the defending of a sense of nationalism and patriotism among the nation's younger generation. Ladies and gentlemen, nationalism should ideally from a sense of concern for the Indonesian people who are in situation of insanity due to various factors. Ladies and gentlemen, the smallest and most important manifestation of nationalism is an internal counter to the complexity of nation issue. This can be done by accessing national news through online news portals, which are not very easy access and separate. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on my explanation before, I, as the government team, strongly agree with our motion today. That's all. Thank you.
So thank you, Ms. Icharita, as the government whip. Now it's the opportunity for the opposition whip, Ms. Michelle Pantaleon, to respond and to summarize your claim. Sorry, the time before was 7 minutes and 19 seconds. Ms. Michelle, it's your turn.
Okay, well, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable adjudicators, timekeeper, moderator, and our blood friends from the government team. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Michelle, as the opposition whip, will conclude all our argument. Based on the real situation, there are so many programs that can take the students to study abroad. This program is used to be in the education field. And this motion is talking about this house belief that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. And we from the opposition team totally disagree with this motion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 points of argument. The first point is study abroad can bring knowledge from other countries to improve their country. And the second is studying abroad means introducing their own country to the other country. But before I start to explain my argument, I would like to give some rebuttal and responses to what the government team said before. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the government just keeps talking about the globalization itself. But ladies and gentlemen, the globalization which can impact their attitude. But ladies and gentlemen, we must know that the globalization itself, they get from their handphone, not from the study abroad itself. So ladies and gentlemen, they have the negative impact from their handphone itself, from the internet itself, not from the study abroad. And also, ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about the patriotism, means their sacrifice for their own nation. But ladies and gentlemen, study abroad means they go to other country. It means that they have a different environment. So it means they sacrifice to their own country because they are alone in other people's country. Okay, so I'll continue. The first point is study abroad can bring knowledge from other countries to improve their countries. Because in here, we're talking about the studying abroad itself. The people is actually can bring benefits from this study abroad. Studying abroad, explore individuals to different cultures, language, and ways of thinking to may not encounter in their home country. This exposure can broaden the worldview and allow them to bring back new ideas and perspective to their own local community. Different countries have different approaches in education, and studying abroad can provide individuals with an opportunity to learn and potentially adapt the successful educational system that could benefit their home country. Studying abroad allows individuals develop international networks and friendship, which can be valuable for future collaborations and exchange of knowledge. Data from the Institute of International Education's Open Doors report supports the idea that studying abroad can lead to the positive impact on individuals and their communities. According to the report, 72% of U.S. study abroad alumni reported that they had acquired a better understanding of their own cultural values, and basis 76% alumni who studied abroad report that they can acquire skills that influence their career path, and 25% reported that they had collaborated with individuals they may not while abroad on a project or a venture itself, ladies and gentlemen. So this means that studying abroad is not an evidence. Yes, please.
Okay, the third speaker from the opposition team say that the government program to studying abroad to improve their country, and the globalization not give the negative impact for students. But you must know, in fact, globalization can show another culture. In addition, many Indonesian students who continue their education abroad are instead influenced by the country's culture, which is not necessarily in accordance with Indonesian culture, and instead forget Indonesian culture. So this fake show that the spirit of nationalism of Indonesian students is still inferior to other nations and must be improved. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so before I answer, I must make clear that in this case, we're talking about the studying abroad. And ladies and gentlemen, now I will answer your question. We focus on the studying abroad purpose itself, that the students go outside to introduce their culture. And the studying abroad means the culture exchange itself, ladies and gentlemen. So it means that the students introduce their cultures to the other country. That is why the president of Indonesia itself said that there are so many people admire Indonesia, because the student itself has introduced their own culture to the other country. Okay,
POI,
so
please.
Continue.
Okay, I got your point.
Thank you.
You say that. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'll continue. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so this means that studying abroad is not an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit, but studying abroad is actually can increase the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, because in here they go to other country that have a different cultures, language, and everything else, but they can contribute to their own country by receiving the knowledge they got from the other country itself, and with the knowledge they provide
PI,
for the
please.
country itself. No, thank you. And with the knowledge itself, they can improve their own country. Okay, so I'll continue.
PI,
Studying
please.
abroad, no, thank you. Studying abroad can definitely help build a sense of nationalism and pride in one's home country. Studying abroad gives individuals an opportunity to represent their home
PI,
country.
please.
Yes, please.
Okay, the third speaker from the opposition team before said that studying abroad can make students to introduce their culture. So, can you give the real example if the student can introduce their own culture to the other nation?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we already said again and again that they are studying abroad means the cultural exchange itself. So ladies and gentlemen, if they study abroad, they go to other country and they funded by the government itself. It means they have to follow the procedure, which means they have to introduce their culture or make a representation about their culture itself. Okay, so I'll continue. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in our second point, we talk about studying abroad means introduce their own country to the other country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we already said before that there are a culture exchange, which means, ladies and gentlemen, these students go to the other country and introduce their culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, it means that they're actually increasing their spirit of nationalism and patriotism. Because why, ladies and gentlemen? They introduce their own country. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many people from the outside will admire Indonesia because they already know that Indonesia has so many cultures. And also, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the culture in Indonesia, of course, we know that there are so many cultures. And there are also cultures that are not known by people outside. So, it means, ladies and gentlemen, these students must introduce the culture to the outside people, ladies and gentlemen, or to the foreigner. Okay, so at the end of the day, we from the opposition team still strongly disagree with this motion that said this house believes that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit. Because first, study abroad can bring knowledge from other countries to improve their countries. And the second is, studying abroad means introducing their own country to the other country. Okay, so that is all my argument. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Miss Michelle Pantaleon. She promised us fun and she delivers it. So now it's the opportunity for both teams to provide their reply speakers. And the first opportunity for reply speakers will be given to the opposition team, Miss Natal Raga. Could you please try to convince the audience and also the opposition, the opposing team on your claim? Time is yours.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity that given to me. So now I'm standing as a reply speaker. Would like to explain why we from the opposition team should win and why the government team should lose. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to see in the first, ladies and gentlemen, they don't pay attention about the rules of this debate, ladies and gentlemen. Which means when they gave the POI and they take a lot of our time, ladies and gentlemen. So we cannot get we cannot give the clear explanation about the question itself, ladies and gentlemen. And also, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to see is about they have clearly explanation about nationalism and patriotism spirit. But what we have to consider is about what form of degradation that causes by the study abroad itself, ladies and gentlemen. They have their clear explanation about nationalism, but they don't have clear explanation about the degradation itself, ladies and gentlemen. So in here, I would like to we have to see about our point, ladies and gentlemen, why we from the opposition totally disagree about this motion. Because the first, study abroad can bring knowledge from other country to improve the knowledge in our country. And the second is studying abroad means introducing out our own country to the other country. Ladies and gentlemen, in here, I would like to give that about there are a lot of advantages that given by the study abroad itself, and we have to see in the real situation that the government provide many of students exchange and also the scholarship for students to study abroad, which means the government support about the study abroad. And ladies and gentlemen, if the government support about the study abroad itself, which means the government want to see that the students that get many knowledge in the other country have, because of the nationalism and patriotism spirit, to in here, ladies and gentlemen, what the form of nationalism and patriotism spirit is the study from the study abroad is when the students have to love their own country, and then they have to care as the golden generation. They have to take care about the role, and ladies and gentlemen, they have to go to study abroad because they care about the education system and about the education quality of the country itself, ladies and gentlemen. So in here, we strongly disagree about this motion, ladies and gentlemen. How can this house believe that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation and of nationalism and patriotism spirit, even that study abroad can bring knowledge from other countries to improve their country? Ladies and gentlemen, we are developing countries, and our target in 2045 to be the golden generation, which means that we have to get many knowledge, many innovations, many relation with the people in the other country to get the innovation to the progress of our country, to be the progress country itself, ladies and gentlemen. And what we have to see in the second point is about study abroad means that we introducing our own country to the other country. Ladies and gentlemen, when we go to study abroad, of course, we have to see that we have to follow the foreign culture, but it doesn't mean this can be the degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit, ladies and gentlemen, because in the habituation in our daily life, we also make people know about the habitation and about the culture in our country itself, ladies and gentlemen. So which means we make the people in the world know about our culture, and it can be a good condition, ladies and gentlemen, because as I have explained before, that there's a sentence that says, "Di mana bumi dipijak, di situ langit dijunjung," which means, ladies and gentlemen, in every place, in everywhere, we have to consider about the adaptive condition of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And here, ladies and gentlemen, when we go to the study abroad, we can add the knowledge of the country itself. So it's very helpful for the student itself. And also, what do we mean by nationalism and patriotism spirit in here is about how can the students get many knowledge to improve their quality of education of their country, and how can these students introducing their country to the other country itself, ladies and gentlemen. So in here, at the end of the day, we from the opposition team totally disagree about this motion, that this house believe that studying abroad is an evidence of degradation of nationalism and patriotism spirit, ladies and gentlemen. Because of what, ladies and gentlemen? The students go to study abroad because they want to post the nationalism and patriotism spirit itself. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have to see that the motion talk about the ideology of Pancasila and also about the education system. So we have to consider about the ideology of Pancasila and also the education system, which means that the students go to the other country to learn many things, to get many knowledge, to get many innovations, to improve the quality of education in their country. So there is all my argument. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So time is 4 minutes and 8 seconds. That was Ms. Natal Raga as the leader of opposition as well as the reply speaker from the opposition team. And now it's the chance for the government team to provide their reply speaker. That would be Ms. Jenny Uta. It's time for you to defend your motion and your closing arguments. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity given to our group. Before I deliver my conclusion, I will give the feedback to the opposition team. Also say that the studying abroad can make students introduce their culture, but they don't give to use the real data about it. And about the POI from opposition team, our team also explained in the material before. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I, the reply speaker from the government team, totally agree with the motion. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad is a desire to learn and to gain experience in a foreign land. Studying abroad is an attempt to achieve a better future. We realize that a person's future will be greatly influenced by the education. By studying in foreign country, we will gain experience and global insight, broader insight. Studying abroad is defined by obtaining education in a foreign country in order to achieve a broader perspective of different culture and explore new horizons. Learning goes beyond traditional classroom teaching. Studying abroad is challenging but very fulfilling experience. We learn to self-managing in unknown places. As a result, we become stronger and wiser from our study abroad experience. Study abroad programs are educational programs that allow students to visit a foreign country, live there, and study to their weeks, months, or even a whole year. Students to live in foreign country and attend for university. Study abroad is opportunity to continue our college study in a foreign country. Studying abroad means going to another country with the sincere intention of doing so much more than sightseeing and checking place of bucket list. Ladies and gentlemen, the degradation of nationalism is the degradation or waning of the love of its people. Now the sense of nationalism and nationality of mass our younger generation has faded. It is because the younger generation culture and historical understanding of its people it is increasingly lacking. Today, younger generation are more likely to imitate external culture and they feel proud of the culture of others. Ladies and gentlemen, studying abroad can reduce the spirit of nationalism. For example, studying abroad, students seem to forget their respective culture and prefer to follow the foreign culture they get from studying abroad. Not only that, studying abroad also reduces a sense of concern for the people of their homeland when there are threats or problems that exist in their own homeland. It is if these students do not respond to these problems and remain silent without any sense on content for the homeland. So with that, studying abroad reduces the sense of nationalism high for the homeland. So far, studying abroad has reduced the spirit of patriotism and nationalism, which is fading and lack of respect for Pancasila, the flag, and nationalism anthem. Example of school abroad, they have lowered the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, though the globalization have caused a positive impact on society. Because of it, we strongly agree with the mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jenny. So the time was 4 minutes sharp, exactly 4 minutes, yeah? So thank you so much, both teams, for your excellent performances, and thank you so much for also like giving us your best for today, and we will be waiting for the scoring by the judges, yeah? And so I would let you go, and also please shake hands with each other and also return to your benches, previous bench. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud and I'm so happy with the performances from our students since yesterday and the day before, yeah? Excellent, excellent. Thank you also for the teaching team and the school staff, everyone who's been supporting our students for preparing themselves for the performances. So this is the end of the semi-final round. And we will be giving the time for the judges to do the scoring and to also putting up the ranking to let us all know who or which team that will be going forward to the final round. Okay, and I would like to consult with the judges and also the organizing team on how long is it going to take exactly for us to get the results? 10 minutes? 10 minutes, yeah? We'll be waiting 10 minutes and then we'll get the results on which team who will be going on forward towards the final round.
Ya, selamat pagi semua. Satu dua catatan kecil dari proses semifinal ya. Yang pertama namanya debat pasti setuju dan tidak setuju itu pasti. Malah wajib hukumnya karena debat. Hanya perlu diperhatikan cara menyampaikan tidak setuju, ya. Jangan menolak mentah-mentah karena ini teman untuk berdiskusi. Teman debat itu teman untuk berdiskusi. Jadi kalau bisa hindari kata no atau hindari kata I disagree with you. Ada beberapa teman yang sudah memberikan contoh yang baik. I get your point, but you are right, all your opinion, but ya. Itu catatan kedua. Kemudian yang ketiga, adik-adikku sekalian, stabilkan emosi. Ya. Stabilkan emosi supaya tidak memberi kesan bahwa terjadi quarrel. Stabilkan emosi. Jadi percayalah pada argumen yang sudah kamu susun, ungkapkan itu secara elegan, berwibawa, meyakinkan. Ada bagian-bagian penting yang menjadi kekuatan, itu diberi sedikit penekanan supaya lawan ini dia poin pentingnya mereka di sini. Ya, itu catatan. Kiranya menjadi perhatian untuk teman-teman yang akan lolos ke babak berikutnya.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to announce who is going forward towards the final round. I know the teachers are already, it's more than students. The teachers are like Depdikbud, yeah? No, I know everyone's nervous, but of course, please, teachers and students, I think you guys know already, but I would like to emphasize that anyone who's not going to the final round are still winners, yeah? For being able to take up on the chances to go forward and to perform, that's already a big step. And we are so happy and proud of all of you. And without further ado, of course, I would like to announce the ones that go forward to the final round are SEMINARI, SMA Swasta SEMINARI, SMA Swasta Katolik Regina Pacis, Bajawa, SMA Negeri 1 Bajawa, and the fourth one is SMA Negeri 1 Riung Barat. Congratulations for the ones that go forward to the final round, and congratulations for everybody who has been participating, yeah? We will be giving you half an hour, 30 minutes before we go for the selection of the teams, ya. Kita kasih waktu setengah jam untuk kemudian kita pilih, atau sekarang? Jam 11 naik. Okay, we will gather all here at 11, ya. At 11 for you to find out who you will be competing against. So we will give you half an hour to regaining your energy for the ones who are going to the final round. Jam 11 kita kumpul lagi, ya.